Welcome to the Coins and Connections podcast with me, Cinquanta Cox-Smith. We're talking books, business, and of course, a little bit of bullshit. If you're looking for inspiration, motivation, or just a good time, you've come to the right place. Ready, set, let's go!
They say transparency builds trust, but what happens when that trust is only based on how much money you make? The moment I stop sharing, I saw people's true colors. Welcome back to the Coins and Connections podcast, episode 228. I'll be talking about the role income proof plays in online businesses and why people are obsessed with seeing numbers. In 2018, I started a new side hustle and had instant success and grew an additional audience and more income just from sharing about it. I'll also talk about why I stopped sharing, how it affected my engagement, and what happened once I had to rebuild my business. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. And I want to talk about the power of social and income proof. So income proof works ultimately because, for one, it builds credibility. 2, it attracts people looking for a roadmap to success. And 3, it increases trust and engagement. And I'm not going to say it doesn't work because I leveraged this by testing a new side hustle that I started in 2018. Now, the first month was a little rough, but I made some income. And then by month 2, I had doubled it. And then month 3, I tripled it. I felt like I had to share so others could gain the same success that I was seeing from obviously trying something new. It wasn't something that was too far out of my arena because I was already a published author, but I never thought to just publish blank, low content, no content journals online. So once I started getting more and more requests to teach this particular topic, a lot of people didn't grasp the concept. And it's like, I felt like I started to neglect my own stuff. Like I was into a rhythm. I was uploading and creating and researching daily, uploading at least 25 to 50 books a day, doing keyword research, doing research on Amazon, trying to find niches that needed journals. I mean, I was just learning. I threw myself into this whole role. And then when I began to teach it, it was like people weren't grasping the true concepts. And they were more focused on duplicating exactly what I was doing down to titles and descriptions. Now, I had my Facebook group and I would give them like a mock description or a mock title. And it got really crazy because they would like duplicate the exact same wording. And that was a little frustrating. And ultimately, it wasn't the type of strategy that I was trying to teach. I was trying to lead free thinkers, right? I wasn't trying to lead people who would just duplicate exactly what I do and feel like, okay, because she did it exactly this way, I have to do this exact way. And I've never gave that I want you to copy me, okay? That's the dark side of this whole business and being a content creator. When people become overly dependent on you, telling them exactly what to do. And it's like they're holding on to stuff like a hair follicle. That's a little scary. So now let's talk about the shift and why I stopped sharing. So in my teachings, I wasn't sharing my exact niche or I wasn't showing my exact book covers or anything. I did this because I gave away a lot of information already. Heck, I even gave away money. I did giveaways with write newsletters. I've been writing newsletters and letters to my subscribers and blog posts since I don't know, way back when. And when I would do this, it would like be anytime maybe the first person opened it, they would win a Amazon gift card. So it was like, you have to reach and claim that first. So I even give away like almost $300 worth of products on my own birthday. I've helped people who were struggling in their business, like things like in my Facebook group, I would ask, what do you need right now? If it had a monetary tag to it, sometimes I would just give them the money. But also even that became too much. It became too personal. It got weird. This was like one of the reasons I stopped sharing my income publicly. People will be like, oh, you famous? Oh, hey, superstar. And I'm like, I never said, like, I know I'm regular. I'm just always on it. I know and I feel that I use my 24 hours differently than most. I know how to get to the bag. I'm motivated. I can motivate myself. I don't need an army. And I know that being that way is just different than a lot of people. Again, I want to lead free thinkers. I don't want to lead people who want to follow the crowd. And over time, when I wouldn't just give so freely, I realized that my engagement wasn't the same. If I wasn't giving my all to everyone or holding their hand, they went elsewhere, right? They just went to the next person who would. They no longer wanted to pay or actually do the work that I was insisting or showing them the roadmap for. Of course, they trusted me, but I didn't trust my audience. I started to have boundaries to where you couldn't have the same access to me. A lot of people didn't like that. I stopped answering DMs. I stopped letting that stuff be a way that you could get to me like that. If I made a post about something totally different and you came into my comment section asking about advice or something, I just didn't even pay it any attention. And because I stopped boosting and posting all day, every day about everything that I was doing, they probably thought I was broke or not making any money. And that made me feel like I was a cash grab. So I felt like, dang, I was giving my all, even to some people who literally stole from me, like literally tried to rip off my business and get me to teach them my exact recipe. And I always felt like, yo, I'm already giving. Is that not enough? I felt like they wanted me to take my brain out and hand it to them. And then when I wasn't sharing, I had nothing to offer. I became useless. Yep. Me, the one with all the ideas and the content, I became useless. So let's dive into what my setback was and how I lost two big income sources. So I've talked about this numerous times. I lost two of my largest income sources when my KDP and Amazon merch accounts were deactivated. In that moment, and for at least 2 years, I felt hurt. I felt like I was betrayed, and then I blamed myself for just talking too much or saying too much and not being careful about who I collab with, because that can really ruin your reputation, right? People have it out for others who they see succeeding, and it invokes jealousy, envy, and anything that they can do to tear another person down. So yeah, and in that moment, I became a Reddit thread. Crazy, right? Little old me from Georgetown, South Carolina became a Reddit thread. I'm not going to say it's not my first time being on a little gossip blog, but hey. But honestly, like my life really depended heavily on those income sources because I was able to pay off debt. I was able to pay off my car, take my family on lots and trip, help others, and I saved so much money. I felt like I needed to share that situation with my audience, and I needed to tell them the backstory or how I feel like these things happen, because I wanted them to take precautions, right? In case something like this was on the horizon for them. And a lot of people will be like, oh, well, I do everything right. Nothing like that will happen to me. But if you're not careful, yes, that can happen to you. I've seen it. I still see it. I still see people losing their accounts daily when they do these mass checks. And it could be the simplest thing as a one word and your account is gone, okay? So I really slowed down with content for those sites. And then I started focusing on other platforms that I had success with so that I wouldn't slow down like my YouTube money. I've never really shared the names of my stores, especially the ones that were super successful. And I never really talked a lot about how much money I made on the other platforms. But I felt like I didn't need to share. Ultimately, I was in a rebuilding phase as well because I never stopped working. And I had built at least 5 strong brands from 2019, 2020, where I had uploaded designs and established them on these platforms with at least 25 to 50 designs from ranging from different products. And it's the residuals for me that keep coming, you know, like Chris Brown said, where are my residuals? I am getting my residuals for the work that I put in almost 6 years ago. So I do feel like I lost out on that cushion of large deposits, but I didn't lose my creativity to pivot or to keep making money. And that's the real tea, right? So now when it came to me rebuilding in silence, I had strong brands, like I said, that I had worked on, and they had become an entity of their own that I've never shared till this day. I've written books under pen names that are bestsellers. And then one thing about me, there's always something brewing and that's how I was able to accomplish so much without being the face of the business. This is how I started even before Coins and Connections became my brand. I never wanted it to be where I was the face of that brand, but because situations happened, I had to stand in it, right? But before that, I was getting sales on that brand. I had at least maybe 30 sales before I even announced that I was the owner. And that to me is funny, right? But again, there's a lot of things you can accomplish when you just keep your head down and focus. I do enjoy people rooting for me, but I didn't enjoy people preying on me or pocket watching. My immediate family were only the ones that really needed to bask in the success or, just enjoy the benefits of, or reap the benefits of what I had created. And healthy boundaries gave me peace, right? Do it. Just if you're like in limbo, have healthy boundaries, find peace. Again, the importance of focusing on long-term sustainability for me versus social proof driven success is I have always preached longevity because I knew one day that I would probably just stop posting on social media. And I've been able to do that a lot. I've been able to go months without doing stuff on social media or posting or writing a single status because I spent those years building sustainable content that could live on forever, whether that's on the podcast, my YouTube channel, by staying in your email box, by reposting, just, consistently having a toolkit of successful steps. And, people ask questions now about my business and I kind of simply say, I don't have one. Because I don't. I took away the ability to be put in a box and I just make money. I am a professional person. All right. So let's talk about some key takeaways. Should you share your business income? I truly believe it's up to you, right? Milestones come fast and drama comes behind it even faster. I would say always think before you do because the IRS comes too. Bars, but that's just a risk that many are willing to take, and that may be the route that you want to go. But I think we all like being transparent to a fault, right? I've also mastered that being private. Once I stopped doing it for the gram, Facebook, Snapchat, and everybody else, I was able to truly focus on building a solid internal growth. So if this sounds like something that you're struggling with, and that you have been thinking about, go in peace. I told you guys years ago, paid in peace, right? People don't care how you make the money. They just want to see that you're making it. And the moment you stop proving it, they disappear. Because the obsession with income sharing is a slippery slope. All right. And I'll leave you all with those thoughts and prayers. Share at your own risk, but be smart and build a brand and business that can stay in online without the proof. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Coins and Connections podcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a review if you enjoyed today's episode. Until next time.